So we're back on a Friday here and there. Welcome to the program. My name is Anwar. I mentioned earlier that we have viewers literally from around the world, especially down under and that sort of thing. And we've had some people from overseas in parts of Asia. So wonderful to have everybody's company. And this is the beauty of the technology on the other side of it all, that we can have so many people join us from literally around the world. So it's always nice to have your company. So as I was mentioning, we have a number of things we're going to be doing today, and thank you guys for telling me everything's looking much better. Debbie saying from Buckhorn, hello, and Diane saying all good. Rose Zurcha is saying good, so I'm glad to see that. I was doing an article for a magazine that's going to be coming out next month, and it was on the mighty Credit River, which the Credit River is just an amazing river. If you connect all the little streams and the tributaries and all that sort of thing, it's like 1,500 kilometers, although the actual main branch is just shy of 100 kilometers. But the fish species in there, over 60 different kinds, and then I was stumbling on some other research of something called microfishing. And I don't know if you're familiar with that. I certainly was. And apparently it's been around for a little while, but it's gaining in popularity. And, microfishing is less about, the big one that got away. This is about catching the small one, the smallest one possible. And that's what it's about. And even the tackle is miniature. So the hooks, they are so tiny. And it originally started off in Japan, known as tanago, and some say it even dates back centuries. And the objective to this day is to get the smallest fish you can, whereas in North America, it's more about getting, different varieties of small fish. But this has taken off, apparently, more recently around the world in many different areas. And that includes the United Kingdom, Norway, Indonesia, and here in North America. Not necessarily in the Credit River. I'm not advocating that that's what we should be doing. In fact, certainly there would be some concerns on, you're catching the small little fish. You're assuming that they're going to be putting them back. Because if not, you have a real problem. But what I don't understand is, what is the difference between microfishing and just when you put your minnow on for bait? I mean, save yourself some time and just go with that. But apparently you really go out and you try to catch tiny fish. So I thought that was very interesting. And if you happen to do microfishing, if you've tried it, let me know. We have Judy saying she's joining us from Lindsay, Nancy from Stouffville, also Lois from Newtonville, Barbara from Curtis. So it's all great to see you guys here. Let me know, and, so we're back and I'm not sure if there is, I don't know if some of you guys fish or not, but if you've tried that sort of thing, microfishing, let me know. For some reason, I'm thinking it's more of a guy thing. I don't know. My wife will not be caught dead fishing. Nope, not going to do it. Not going to sit in a boat for hours and go fishing. But if you've tried that, let us know. Kathy's saying, we miss you. Good to see you. This way, well, thank you for joining us. Marilyn is wishing us a good afternoon. Lois is saying, glad you're back. Everything looks and sounds good. So glad to hear that. Kathy's giving us a thumbs up. So is John. And Judy's saying hello from Ajax. Cindy from Oshawa. And she says she'll never miss the show. Always really enjoy learning. Well, thank you for that, Cindy. And also, Linda's joining us from Coburg, giving us a heart, loving our show. I'm looking at all those thumbs up. Thank you for that. And all the way down, Bev from Port Hope, Judy from Amaranth, Glenn is joining us from Oshawa, Michelle. She says she can't say she's a fisher. She says fisherman, but I think it's fisher person these days, isn't it? I don't know. I'm not sure. Anyway, you know what I was thinking? This is officially the last day of spring break. Now, this was the changed-over break, right? Because March break conventional has come to an end. So this is the last day for my kids. They've been doing online schooling for over a year. So they go back to semi-normal schooling on Monday, which is, again, still at home, mind you, but they'll be resuming to class. And I don't think school is going to be going back in terms of the conventional sense now for the rest of the year. But it got me thinking, we need to go on a vacation. So the AKQ for today is that, once we get through COVID, once it's finally done with, and I know, friends, it's going to take some time, but what's your favorite vacation spot? Where are you going to go when we finally get COVID under control and it's safe again? the vacation spot of your dreams. Where would you like to go? And, you know, for me, I'm not fussy at this point. As long as it's safe, I'm there. But I'm asking you, if you could fast forward time, let's say 6, maybe 8 months from now, things are a little more on the normal side, the vaccination rollout has gone with no problems, and I know it has been problematic, although I also know a lot of you have already received your vaccine, which is fantastic news. Glad to hear that. Hello, Barb from Fergus. Kathy says she loves fishing, but where would you go? Because I have a survey here of some of the places, the most missed vacation spots. And I was thinking, you know, what we could do. I mean, we could, you know, this is your captain speaking. This is your captain speaking. Thank you for flying on Here and There Airlines. As you can tell, we are now descending. Please make sure your chair is in an upright position and your table stowed away. We're arriving in the sunny shores of, again, it's up to you. Where are we going? I'm assuming it's going to be sunny. I'm assuming we're going to want some place that is going to be warm and put our feet in some sand. But that's the question I'm asking you today. And, oh, Sheila says she likes saltwater fishing. That would be somewhere tropical. Good for you. And you may be surprised on some of the most missed vacation spots. By the way, the current temperature right now in Montego Bay is 28. Cancun is 29, and Veradero, Cuba is 32 degrees. You know, been to Jamaica a few times. In fact, we took our kids, I guess it's 2 years now. It was around February 2 years ago, and it was their first all-inclusive. And I was trying to explain to them what is an all-inclusive. So I just sort of said, guys, it's like living at the Mandarin buffet. And you should have seen their eyes open up. And they still were like, I'm not sure what that means. But when we got there, and then we went for our meals, and we explained, I mean, obviously we wouldn't let them just touch with their hands. We went with them. But we said, pretty well, whatever you want. And man, were they sold. It's like, doo-dah, they were loving it. So that's one of the aspects, you know, and I think in terms of going away, there's so many wonderful reasons to do it, and I think many times, you know, we don't maximize our vacation. And again, very blessed that you're able to go and afford to go on a vacation, because some people can't, and you know, so we're very cognizant that we're able to do that. But the one thing I really do miss is breakfast. There's nothing better than having breakfast made for you. You know, where you know that routine, you just come out of your hotel room, the first thing you do, of course, is you eye the beach and the best lounger. Where's the lounger that has maybe the cabana over it? So you put that book that you're never going to read and your towel, and you sort of claim your spot, right? And then you go for your breakfast, you go there and you eat, and then you go to your lounger and then you have a little nap. But I miss that. Man, do I miss that. Sydney says she wants to go to Poland, and if not possible, Peely Island. And the point, well, that's a real wide spectrum, that's for sure. Giselle saying, never been in Newfoundland, want to stay in Canada at this point. It's a really good point, Giselle. You're absolutely right. Now, we did last summer, well, I guess actually it's 2 summers now, because last summer was still COVID. We did out west. We took the kids, you know, to the Calgary Stampede and went through Banff, Lake Louise, and Jasper. Everybody should see Western Canada. It is just so stunning. I mean, we have many beautiful spots across the country, and Newfoundland, incidentally, is on our bucket list. But we did some research in terms of little kids. We thought it would be a little, not as much for them, because we wanted them to be a part of the experience. But it's certainly on our list. Barbara also saying anywhere in Canada, so good for you. I'm with you on that for so many reasons. Marina is joining us from Toronto. Jonathan is saying road trip to the East Coast. And yes, we did that, I guess, 4 years ago. Yeah, about 4 years ago. Oh, my goodness, so beautiful. And the magic of the Maritimes is that it's so small, you could literally do a road trip and visit all 3 provinces, you know, when you go for a week, maybe 8 days or so. So many wonderful things to experience and great activities for kids. So I'm there with you. Back to visit my friend in Costa Rica, Margaret says. She's been going there every year in February and March. We went there as well many years ago, a couple of times, and what really I love about Costa Rica is the biodiversity. You know, if I remember correctly, I think 97% of the nation is actually protected, and biodiversity or biotourism is the #1 thing there. So that's a beautiful spot. Eileen would say she'd go to Winnipeg to see her grandchildren and then to Newfoundland. I bet you there's a lot of people that can't wait to connect with family. I get it. And maybe, you know, maybe that's going to be a recurring theme in terms of where you go for your holidays. Shannon's joining us from Lindsay. Hello, Shannon. Good to have you. Kathy's saying would like to do a Disney cruise. To be taken last fall, but really looking forward to camping in Algonquin. Now, Kathy, I have to ask you, I don't know if they're going to allow that now. I was just seeing some stuff on Twitter. Some of the areas may now be closed, even if you have sites booked. Now, you may be doing this in August and everything's going to be fine, but make sure you check that. Elizabeth saying also love PEI. Yeah, lots to love there. We also did, you know, when we were there, the lobster supper. We stood in line. It's iconic what they do there. You know, you pay, I don't know, 30, 40 bucks and all you can eat lobster and mussels and all that sort of thing. But just to be part of the experience, and I forget the one we went to, but it was one of the longest running. And when we first drove up there, the lineup, you know, the parking lot was full, the lineup for people, we thought, wow. And we had 2 grandmas with us and the 2 kids. And we thought, are we going to be okay? We booked our time, but just getting in there, and it actually went pretty quickly. And then we realized why. When you finally get in, I mean, this is a sea of tables, you know, and they're playing live music, and then they bring you a pail of mussels to start. What an experience. Oh, the hospitality out in the East, beautiful. Jennifer's saying Newfoundland for a Canada trip. Yep, I think you're right. We talked about that. Rena is saying also Costa Rica. Kathy's saying everyone can come to the beautiful Lake of the Woods. Okay, so are you inviting? Is that an open call? When the, you know, the doors are open, when we're allowed to travel, we're gonna look you up. And Pat would say visit family in Manitoba. Carol's saying going back to Aruba. Linda is Newfoundland. Also Janet's saying apply to Carmen in Mexico. And Michelle says Disney, Hawaii, Bora Bora, Australia, and Muskoka. You know what? Maybe we should set up a here and there tour. We'll do all of that. All in favor? Motion carried. I love it. Bonnie is saying go back to Portugal. Would love to go back. You know, Bonnie, we did part of our honeymoon in Spain and Portugal. That was another amazing experience. Claudia is saying missing you on CTV. You know, why aren't you there anymore? Well, to be honest, they let go over 200 people, Claudette. 210 to be exact. They just said we're no longer part of the plan. And I think it's really a shame because, you know, now, in fact, they are recording the weather at night. They're short-staffed, but that's their vision. There's nothing I can do about that. I only can focus on going forward. And that's the way it is. But if you're not happy, let them know, because viewers do matter, and I do appreciate you joining us today. John is saying Orlando. Yep, that would be nice. Diane, Newfoundland. Also, Judy mentioned favorite vacation spot would be in Canada, camping and traveling coast to coast, PEI, Cape Breton, Fundy Park, Banff, all the way to Victoria. That would be amazing. You know, I was tempted when we went out west, you see a lot of the RVs. So some people do that. If you had the time, you're able to, but that would be a heck of a road trip. Patricia says, miss you on CTV. Well, thank you for that. I appreciate that. Wade says, I'm already here in Queensland, Australia. Yay! You left Toronto in 2010 and have not been back. Now, Wade, you are approaching the winter season there, which I guess is a good thing because you also had, again, a very active fire season. So it's good to have you from down under, though. We really appreciate your company. Cindy, boy, this is going really quick. I got to try to roll it back here. Steve is saying vacation in British Columbia. Madeline is saying Hawaii. Kathy says, never heard of microfishing. Always learning something new with you, Anwar. Well, you're very welcome. I appreciate that. Joining us from Burlington. Oh, Donna says, whale watching in Newfoundland. Oh, my goodness. That is something every Canadian needs to do, without question, because you don't really appreciate the size of these creatures until they get close. Now, when you go on a whale watching tour, you know, there are strict regulations, Coast Guard regulations, how close the boat can go. But obviously, the whale can do what it wants. We did that on the east and west. Didn't see anything on the west coast, but on the east coast, oh my goodness, This whale, the size of a school bus. It was the most amazing thing to experience. So good for you. Yeah, that would be awesome. Vicky said, I would like to take a road trip around the shores of Lake Huron and Georgian Bay, Lake Superior, which sounds very cool. Also, Jonathan says, I'm killing him. Why am I killing you? Why? Is it because you're dreaming so much? Well, that's a good thing then, I guess. Kathy says, 100% agree with you about the breakfast overlooking the beach. I know, there's just something about it, eh? There's something about it. Michelle says, I got the protocol locked down. All right, I love it. Okay, Janet says, are you taking me back there just hearing you talk about brekkie and saving a chair? Rena saying Western Canada is gorgeous. Yes, it really is. And Ezra says Ireland, a dream spot, the Blarney Castle. Oh, yes, that's on our bucket list, actually. Love to go to Ireland. And Sheila said, I find traveling in Canada very expensive, especially going solo. You know, you're absolutely right. Without question, that's something that we found. You know, you're trying to book hotels and even car rental. You know, we used to own a place in Florida, and then we sold it when Donald Trump won. But anyway, to rent a car, you can get a car there for $10 a day. I mean, not all the time. But to rent a car here, it costs almost as much as airfare. And you're absolutely right. It's pretty crazy. And I think, especially now as we get on the other side of COVID, if you want to promote, you know, local tourism, because we need to help each other, there should be some incentives for that. I agree. It is very expensive. And then you're saying traveling solo on top of that, without question. Marina saying California to the Pacific Ocean. Judy saying I'm just missing Manitoba, Northwest Territories, Nunavut, Saskatchewan, Newfoundland on my Canadian travels. So, well, that's nice. You're Canadian to the core, and there's so many wonderful things to experience. Murray saying hello. Hello, Murray. Ranja saying just around in Canada, the nature here is breathtaking. Yeah, it really is. Don says just give me an old, good old classic car show, and I would imagine there are quite a few varied across the province, I should say across the country for that matter. Joanne saying when all is clear would love to go back to Myrtle Beach, and says my dad just passed away and wants a bit of him in the ocean off the pier. Well, Joanne, I'm sorry for your loss, and I hope that you're able to get closure at some point, that you are able to travel and to do that with your father in his memory. What will the weather be like this afternoon? Well, that's a good question. So what we have right now, actually a few breaks here out in the West End. We're going to see a fair amount of cloud cover, though, and a chance of showers. Now, I think the greatest risk for showers for the afternoon, because we had earlier today in around the GTA, actually it was late last night, probably 4 to 6. 4 to 6 p.m. we'll see a few showers. The forecast high today will be pretty comfortable overall, 9 degrees, but it's still below where it should be. Into the overnight variable cloudiness, a risk of a shower, and down to 4, which actually is where we should be for an overnight low. But it's still a little cool because we got spoiled for the last couple of weeks. And then for the rest of southern Ontario, we have mainly cloudy skies, some scattered showers, 6 to 14 degrees. There will be more of a rain component the further east you go in southern Ontario. We have a nor'easter that is spiraling some energy into the eastern sections. So that's where it's more constant. And you'll get, you know, a fair amount of rain. However, in parts of New England, they may have snowfall records today. Maybe, I mean, we're talking 2 to 4 inches, maybe 5 inches, but nonetheless, it's mid-April. And yes, flurries do happen. But so I think we're okay with the showers. That's where I'm going with this. All of that energy is going to buckle up. And then as for the overnight across southern Ontario, scattered showers, we'll see some fog patches developing and 0 to 3 degrees for overnight lows. So that's pretty chilly. Now tomorrow we should see a fair amount of sunshine. The clouds again will start to thicken up, a risk of a shower, but overall the weekend is looking nice. Now, where are we going, right? It's important to note here though that we still need to get some outdoor activity, especially when you've got kids. You have to get them out. It's very important mentally and physically. But we have to play it safe. So if you're going to go to your local park, your ravine, your little trail, Bring the masks with you. If there's nobody there, then leave them off. Once you see people, put on your mask. It's really important. We pack sanitizer, Kleenex, and all that sort of thing. But it is important you do get some outdoor activity. Just keep it local. For the rest of the forecast, Sunday, mix of sunny, cloud, maybe another shower, 13 degrees. Monday, we'll see mainly sunny skies, 13 degrees. Tuesday, cloudy with breaks and showers and cooler air. This is the takeaway for the 5-day forecast. We're going to see a shot of cold air into Wednesday. There may be snow showers. I'm not forecasting a lot, but just so you know, until the temperatures move back up, there may be some wet snow, especially northern edge of the city. The high just 6 degrees on Wednesday, all right? So weekend looking fair. So Barbara said we had some birds in the feeder. Well, I'm glad to hear that. That's what it's all about. We love watching them. And Kathy says our Wilberforce Trailer Park opens up May 7th. Will we be able to get there this year? I don't mind even staying put. Well, I'm not sure. Yeah, that's a good question. There may be some contingency plans, maybe the first people who booked or that sort of thing. Also, Pearl says, miss going to Barbados this year. Fingers crossed, February 2022. Kathy's saying, everyone is welcome. Okay, so Kathy, those are your words. So we're going to set up that road trip. Wally says, my cousin lives in Bermuda. Would be nice to visit him. And Kathy says, love the East Coast. Barb's saying Alberta and the Yukon. I have a survey here. I was floored. This survey lists the top destinations that tourists can't wait to get back to. And I'll start at the bottom. In fifth spot was seeing the Eiffel Tower in Paris, France. Now, Paris certainly is beautiful to visit. So that would be one of them, again, according to the survey, the places that really people want to get back to. Number 4, we had some of these people, some of you people say it, and I say that with much affection, some of our viewers. Disney, the Magic Kingdom in Orlando, in Florida. And I'm so looking forward for that opportunity to take our kids there. It likely is not going to be for a few years now, just because the way things are going. But that was number 4. Number 3 is Santorini, Greece. That was one of the most visited or most missed spots, vacation spots. And number 2 was Bali in Indonesia, which I would love to experience. But the number 1 most missed vacation destination, I think you might be surprised. Giza, the pyramid complex in Egypt. Now, certainly fascinating, without question, but that's expensive. That's not a cheap trip. So they must have asked some high rollers. I don't know, but those are the top 5 places. And it's interesting, only one that we connected with, which is, there's no issue with that. That's fantastic. Nicholas saying Jamaica. Yes, indeed. Jamaica would be a great spot. Gabby is saying onwards and upwards, Anwar. Thank you so much for that. And also, Christopher is saying PEI. And Linda's saying, miss you on the news. It's not the same. Thank you, Linda. I appreciate that. Morocco is a wonderful place to visit, Jillian is saying. Judy saying, wonderful to see you. Greetings from West Rouge. Also, Kimberly says, the Beaches Resort in Turks and Caicos, a great vacation for family. I've been tempted to do Turks and Caicos. For kids, though, it gets a little pricey, but it's a beautiful spot. Let's see here. Donna's saying, been enjoying watching you. Judy says we have an RV that is nicer than our house. You know, Judy, we've done many live location shoots at the RV show, and you're right. Man, it really is a house on wheels. Non-stop luxury, back to back, without question. And that has been a really tempting thing, as I mentioned. In fact, we were thinking, even 5 weeks ago, we were thinking, should we rent an RV and just take the kids to some park here in southern Ontario? And then when we started to look more into it, some of them were being booked. But now it looks like it's not going to happen, and now for sure we're not doing anything, just because of the latest developments. We'll stay close to home, like literally in our backyard. Joanne is saying icebergs. That is another thing on my bucket list. You're right. To see icebergs would be amazing. Eagle watching in Ontario. Stephen, let me know where we can do that. I'm fascinated by it. Joseph is saying, always learning something new from your program. Thanks, Joseph. I appreciate that. Also, Janet says, good to see you. Miss you. And why they let us go doesn't make sense. Trust me, if anybody was shaking their head, no one more than me. Sandra is joining us from Lindsay, Ontario. Michelle saying going to Hawaii. And also Ronand, I hope I get that name right, would take my hubby to Holland to visit relatives for his 60th birthday gift. And also Mrs. Me on CTV, thank you for that. I appreciate it. That would be nice. That would be very nice. And Ward says fishing in Algoma. And Joanne Legan is joining us, saying, love how we keep the conversation going. Well, thank you. I appreciate that, Joanne. Really, I do. You know, it's interesting. I thought we should play a game, by the way, and we're going to call this the Missing Movie Game. And, you know, I think what we may do is try to do more of this. By the way, we just got a really good sunny break out here. Oh, that looks beautiful. So this is going to be really easy to play. So I'm going to refresh all the comments here so I get down to the bottom. Jackie, by the way, says Peggy's Cove, Nova Scotia. Another beautiful spot. But the Missing Movie Game. So I'm going to read a quote, and you tell me the missing movie it's from. So if I say, may the force be with you, but maybe I need to do it with this, eh?
May the force be with you.
You guys would say Star Wars, right? Okay, so you ready for this? The Missing Movie Game. I'm going to read the quote. You tell me what is the missing movie. You're gonna need a bigger boat. Question 1. You're gonna need a bigger boat. So you let me know what is the missing movie. All right, as we stream live here on Here and There for Friday, April the 16 degrees. Any takers, any takers, any takers? You're going to need a bigger boat. Yes. So Kathy was the first one, and she says Jaws. Wow, now everybody's going to... And no cheating. There is no Googling, okay? Because if you type that in, it wrecks it. But that was 1975, excuse me, Chief Brody, and listed as one of the most iconic quotes in movie history. You're going to need a bigger boat. You know, a fascinating story about Jaws, because the one who inspired the movie is now gone the other way and trying to save sharks. And regrets, in fact, because they were so vilified and feared from that movie. It was a very, very good movie. So now everybody is saying Jaws, so good for you. But the first one out of the gate, I want to make sure I remember that here. Was it Judy? I'm going to write this down. Judy Turner. So Judy, stay tuned, okay? Judy got the first one. Here's the second one. Oh, you guys will know this one. This is easy. I'll have what she's having. I'll have what she's having. Let's see here. I'll have what she's having. It's the Missing Movie Game on Here and There. I'm Anwar Knight. Thanks for joining us here. Name the movie, and I'll give you a clue. It is from the 80s. I'm surprised. Cindy says she saw the set at Universal Studios. There it is. Michelle got it. When Harry Met Sally. I think some of you guys may be cheating, maybe Googling. But you're right, Stephanie, there is a slight delay. You're absolutely right. There's probably about 10 or 11 seconds from the time that we're doing it, and you get it. But indeed it is. Harry Met Sally, 1989. And you know what's really interesting about that? Of course, it was Billy Crystal and Meg Ryan. But originally it was supposed to be Albert Brooks and Molly Ringwald, of all people. And you know, she was a great actress. I mean, you think some of the iconic movies she did. But the reason why she wasn't able to sign on, she actually had another movie conflict. So do you think it would have been as successful if Albert Brooks and Molly Ringwald did it? I don't know. Yeah, and I guess, you know, we could always second guess now that you see the movie that was done. But I thought it was really fascinating. Yeah, Linda says love that movie. And... yeah, so we have determined there is a bit of delay. You're right, Vicky. You're absolutely right. A few seconds. And also, Rena's saying she was thinking she could answer before Michelle. Okay, so here is the last question here. Now, this one's super easy. You had me at hello. So I know there's going to be a bit of delay. You had me at hello. And also some people are saying... it would not have been as good with those actors. I think you're probably right. Wally says Meg Ryan was hot. She looks like a duck now. Too much Botox. You know, I have to agree with you, Wally. She did a lot of work. I have to agree with you. Okay, so who got Jerry Maguire here? Michelle got Jerry Maguire there. I'm just checking if there's anyone before because it goes so quick. There's so many people responding. Hang on, I'm just scrolling back. Yeah, Gaby also got it. Aisha got it. Amy got it. Linda got it. Okay, and Kathy also got it. Okay, Jonathan, I'm going to assume it was a typo because you're saying Carrie Maguire. Maybe that's the sequel. But yes, indeed, Jerry Maguire, and it won 5 Oscars. Whatever happened to Cuba Gooding? In fact, if I'm not mistaken, he's in a lot of trouble. He's doing up for some serious charges, if I'm not mistaken. But you know, there you have the one-hit wonders, right? You know, they reached the claim to fame, and I mean, I know he's done A Few Good Men and stuff like that as well, but clearly it was that was an iconic film without question. So, you know, if you guys are in, do you want me to do some more games in the weeks ahead? Because I'm totally into it, and I think what we're going to do, I'm going to verify again, and I'll do this offline. I'll verify the winner of that one, and I'll send you a gift card for Tim Hortons as a prize, okay? And what I'll do, I'll send you a direct message. I'll go through the list to verify who had the very first answer on the quiz, and I'll send you a direct message, and you can give me your contact details. We'll get a Tim Hortons card to you as a prize. This has been so much fun. What a great way to end off the week. I would like to say as we wrap up, I sent out a message on Twitter and Instagram yesterday that the reality is the darkest days of the pandemic are now unfolding. There's no question, specifically here for Ontario. And we could, you know, debate for weeks on end on the shortcomings and on how the response has been from the provincial government. I don't want to get into the debate. Clearly, there has been some issues on so many levels. We can't be distracted with that. Right now, we need to focus on doing whatever we can to keep ourselves safe and out of the hospital. And it's interesting because some of my viewers responded. I believe Laura, if I'm not mistaken, she said she fears her 13-year-old son who's riding his skateboard and bike, and she's, you know, fingers crossed, I hope he doesn't break his leg. And you know what? You're absolutely right. And that's also what I was talking about, is that it's one thing to stay safe from COVID, and it sounds silly, but really it's not. Do whatever you got to do so you don't need to go to the hospital for anything. I've got 2 young kids too, and I've said to him, my youngest, he's a little stunt man, you know, I said, we have to be careful. Because last year he ran and just before bedtime and gouged his eye by his bed, and he had a big gash, and we had to go to the hospital. We were there for 8 hours. He's fine, 100%. But you don't want to need to go to the hospital because, quite frankly, the hospitals can't handle anybody else right now. They're literally trying to save lives, and we have to be so grateful for the wonderful work that our healthcare heroes have been doing for over a year now. But this is the most challenging time. So together, you know, we have to be leaders in our own community, and we have to take care of one another and show compassion. And let's get through this together. This is going to be one of the biggest tests, the biggest challenges in recent time for us as individuals, as a community. So let's do it. Let's not argue and fight about what some people can and can't do. Let's do it in our own neighborhood and, you know, our own, you know, neighbors, and take care of one another. And we're going to get through this, and there will be some very bright days ahead. In the meantime, we'll connect every Friday. We'll share some laughs. We'll have some fun, and we'll get through it. Sound like a deal? Okay. Listen, I want to say thank you again for everybody. As Bev says, let's get her done. Yes, let's get her done. That's what it's all about. And remember, folks, please help my channel grow, both here as well as on YouTube. And you can do so by liking, by sharing, and also following the page. Please follow my Facebook page, and you'll know when we send up reminders of the new shows that are coming up, and also on my YouTube channel, Twitter, and Instagram. Got a new podcast episode coming up probably in the next week. I'm just editing it now. We mentioned about the climate granny, so we're doing that. Thank you so much for your ongoing support. Stay safe, my friends. Enjoy your weekend. We'll talk soon. See you later.